A Wraith weaponry signature appeared that overloaded even Chen's enhanced senses. The invaders had unveiled something new. A dimensional weapon that didn't just destroy matter, but erased it from existence entirely. They're responding to the Titan threat. Kane's voice joined the transmission. They're determined to prevent our evolution. Every moment of delay costs more lives. The Council Chamber's security systems activated as space distorted around Earth itself. The Wraith's new weapon was targeting humanity's homeworld directly. Traditional shields would be useless against this level of dimensional manipulation. Chen felt her consciousness stretch between multiple realities as her enhanced mind calculated possibilities. "I can't protect Earth without your authorization," she told the Council. "But understand this, if Earth falls, humanity's chance for transformation falls with it. The Wraith will ensure no one follows Novaterra's path." Councillor Zhang stood, his aged face set with determination. The choice isn't between remaining human or becoming something else, he realized. It's between evolution and oblivion. "Authorization granted," he declared, using his emergency powers as senior counselor. "God help us all." The transformed Admiral's hologram smiled with genuine warmth, despite her alien appearance. "God isn't involved in what comes next, Counselor. This is purely human evolution, driven by human necessity." Chen's consciousness merged with the quantum network as Novaterra's hidden forces revealed themselves. Across Alliance space, more Titans emerged from concealed facilities. Emergency protocols activated, beginning the mass transformation of military personnel and critical civilian populations. But the Wraith's new weapon continued its work, erasing entire sectors of space from existence. It was a race between humanity's transformation and the invaders' determination to prevent it. The very fabric of reality became a battlefield as two forms of transcendent technology clashed. Humanity stood at the breaking point, not just of their military resistance, but of their very nature as a species. Victory would require more than just defeating the Wraith. It would demand embracing a transformation that would redefine what it meant to be human. The final battle for humanity's future had begun, and its outcome would echo across dimensions. Would you like me to continue with the final part? The story will conclude with the ultimate confrontation between evolved humanity and the Wraith, while exploring the profound implications of humanity's transformation. Earth hung suspended between existence and void as the Wraith's dimensional weapon continued its inexorable advance. But humanity was no longer watching helplessly. Transformed military forces emerged from evolution stations across Alliance space, their enhanced minds and bodies ready for the final confrontation. Chen commanded from within a new form of Titan, one that represented the peak of Novaterra's research. Her consciousness existed across multiple quantum states simultaneously, allowing her to coordinate the entire human defense force as a single unified entity. "They fear what we've become," she transmitted to the merged consciousness of humanity's enhanced forces. "The Wraith aren't just fighting for conquest anymore. They're fighting to prevent our ascension." The dimensional weapons effects began to warp the space around Earth, reality itself starting to unravel. But transformed humans could now see the quantum mechanics behind the weapons operation. What had seemed like incomprehensible alien technology was now simply advanced physics waiting to be countered. Kane's voice resonated through the quantum network. "All the Volth forces, initiate Protocol Omega. Show them humanity's true potential." The response was beyond anything the galaxy had witnessed. Enhanced human consciousness merged across thousands of minds, their Titans moving in perfect synchronization. They didn't just fight the Wraith, they rewrote the laws of physics around them, matching and exceeding the invaders' mastery of dimensional manipulation. Chen felt her awareness expand to encompass the entire battlefield. She could see the fear in the Wraith's crystalline patterns as they realized what humanity had become. The invaders had sought to prevent evolution, but they had instead catalyzed it. The dimensional weapons effects began to reverse as humanity's combined consciousness exerted its will on reality itself. What the Wraith could do through technology, enhanced humans could now do through the pure power of their transformed minds. "We understand you now," Chen transmitted directly to the Wraith consciousness. "We see what you are, children of an older universe, afraid of younger species following your path. But evolution cannot be stopped." A docking bay opened like a blooming flower, and Chen felt the future of humanity hanging in the balance. Whatever waited inside that station would either be their salvation or the final step in becoming something no longer truly human. But as she watched another distress signal join the cascade of calls for help flooding in from dying colonies, she knew they were out of alternatives. Humanity would have to evolve or die. "Take us in," she commanded. "Let's see what Novaterra has been keeping secret." Novaterra's docking bay closed behind the Defiant like a living thing, crystalline structures shifting and realigning. The station's interior defied conventional engineering, with corridors that seemed to breathe and walls that pulsed with bioluminescent patterns. Director Kane met them personally, his augmented appearance even more striking in person. The circuitry patterns beneath his skin flowed like liquid metal, and his glowing eyes tracked movement with inhuman precision. Behind him stood two figures similarly transformed, their bodies housing a seamless blend of organic and synthetic components. "Welcome to Evolution Station," Kane said, extending a hand that shimmered with quantum energy. "What you're seeing is 50 years of unrestricted human advancement." Chen shook his hand, noting how it felt both warm and electrified. "You've been preparing for something like the Wraith. We knew humanity would face extinction-level threats. The Alliance's restrictions on human enhancement would leave us vulnerable." Kane gestured for them to follow. "We chose exile to ensure our species' survival." They entered a vast chamber that stretched for kilometers through the asteroid's core. Massive tanks lined the walls, each containing a suspended human form undergoing transformation. Quantum computers interfaced directly with human brain tissue, while nanomachines reconstructed bodies at the cellular level. "How many?" Chen asked, her voice barely a whisper. 3 million, Kane answered. "The original colonists and their descendants, each one voluntarily enhanced, their consciousness expanded beyond normal human limitations. We can process information at quantum speeds, interface directly with our technology, and perceive reality in ways your unmodified mind cannot comprehend." Chen watched a young woman floating in one of the tanks, her body incorporating crystalline structures similar to Wraith technology. "You're making us like them." "No," Kane corrected sharply. "We're making us better. The Wraith are purely synthetic beings. We've achieved true synthesis, the perfect union of organic and artificial. Our humanity remains intact, just evolved." They reached a central platform overlooking a massive construction bay. Chen's breath caught as she saw what they were building. Enormous humanoid forms, each nearly a kilometer tall, their bodies composed of the same organic synthetic hybrid material as their creators. "Project Titan," Kane announced with pride. "Quantum neural-controlled battle platforms. Our enhanced consciousness can operate them as naturally as you move your own body. One pilot, one Titan, working in perfect harmony." "That's how you plan to fight the Wraith," Chen realized. "Match their scale and technology." "We've already tested them in secret," Kane confirmed. "A single Titan can engage an entire Wraith fleet. With your help evacuating and enhancing key Alliance personnel, we can have a functional defense force within weeks." Chen turned to face him directly. "And the cost? What happens to humanity if we accept this transformation?" Kane's augmented eyes pulsed thoughtfully. "We remain human where it matters most, in our choices, our emotions, our dedication to survival. The alternative is extinction." A distant alarm sounded, and holographic displays materialized around them. A Wraith fleet had appeared at the edge of Alliance space, larger than any seen before. "They're massing for a final push," Chen observed. "They'll reach Earth within days." Kane nodded grimly. "The Alliance has two options, Admiral. Accept our help and embrace evolution, or maintain their principles and watch humanity burn." Chen studied the tactical display, watching more distress signals appear as the Wraith fleet advanced. She thought of Centauri Station, of billions already lost, of a species facing its end. "Show me everything," she decided. "If we're going to change humanity forever, I need to understand exactly what we're becoming." Kane's expression softened with something like relief. "Follow me to the neural interface chamber. Experience what we've become firsthand. Then you'll understand why we chose this path." As they walked deeper into the station, Chen felt the weight of history on her shoulders. She would either be remembered as the savior who helped humanity transcend its limitations, or the leader who sacrificed their very essence in a desperate bid for survival. But watching another colony fall to the wraith on the tactical displays, she knew humanity's time as a purely organic species was ending. Evolution awaited, not through gradual natural selection, but through a desperate leap into a transformed future. Their footsteps echoed through corridors that hummed with quantum energy, leading toward humanity's next great transformation. Whether it was ascension or damnation remained to be seen. Would you like me to continue with Part 3? The story will progress to show the first major confrontation between the enhanced humans and the Wraith forces. The neural interface felt like liquid starlight flooding Chen's consciousness. Her awareness expanded exponentially, connecting with systems and sensors throughout Evolution Station. Time seemed to flow differently as her enhanced mind processed information at quantum speeds. "Your adaptation rate is remarkable," Kane observed, his voice reaching her both through air and direct neural transmission. "Few integrate this smoothly on their first connection." Chen barely heard him. She was too absorbed in the sensation of her transformed awareness. The station's quantum network revealed layers of reality she never knew existed. She could see the underlying patterns of space-time itself, understand the complex physics that made Wraith technology possible. "The Titans," she breathed. "Show me." Her consciousness was guided to one of the massive humanoid forms in the construction bay. The connection was instantaneous and overwhelming. The Titan wasn't just a machine. It was an extension of her newly expanded self. Every weapon system, every motion control, every power fluctuation was as natural as moving her own limbs. "This is how we fight them," she understood finally. Not with ships and stations, but with beings that can match their scale and complexity. Kane's consciousness brushed against hers in the quantum network. "Are you ready to see them in action? The Wraith fleet approaches the Arcturus colony. We've prepared a response force." Chen existed in multiple spaces simultaneously, her physical form in the interface chamber, her expanded consciousness in the station's networks, and now her battle-ready awareness in the Titan. "Show me," she commanded again. The launch sequence began. Massive bay doors opened to the void, and 20 Titans activated in perfect synchronization. Their pilots, all veterans of Novaterra's secret evolution, merged with their war machines as naturally as breathing. Chen's Titan moved with them, her enhanced mind adapting to its capabilities with increasing confidence. They emerged into space like ancient gods of war awakening. Each Titan stood nearly a kilometer tall, their hybrid bodies channeling enough energy to rival small stars. Their very presence distorted the fabric of space around them, a side effect of the quantum technology that made them possible. The Wraith fleet appeared at the edge of their sensor range, crystalline ships of impossible geometries, each carrying enough firepower to shatter planets. In previous encounters, humanity's most powerful weapons had barely scratched their hulls. "Remember your training." Kane's voice echoed through the quantum link. "Don't think of yourselves as pilots operating machines. You are the Titans. Move as naturally as you would your own body. The quantum integration will do the rest." The Wraith detected them. Their fleet altered course, geometric patterns shifting as they prepared their devastating weapons. But this time, humanity wasn't running. Chen felt power surge through her Titan form as she moved to engage. The physics that made the Wraith seemingly invulnerable were now visible to her enhanced senses. She could see the weak points in their dimensional phasing, understand exactly how to disrupt their crystalline structure. The battle that followed rewrote the rules of space warfare. Titans moved with impossible grace for their size, quantum fields allowing them to phase through Wraith attacks while delivering devastating counterstrikes. Chen's consciousness expanded further as combat protocols activated, turning thought into destructive action at light speed. A Wraith cruiser shattered under her Titan's assault, its crystalline structure destabilizing as she matched its quantum frequency and turned its own physics against it. Around her, other Titans engaged with equal effectiveness, their enhanced pilots finally able to fight the invaders as equals. But the Wraith adapted quickly. Their ships began combining into larger forms, matching the Titan's scale. The void filled with energy discharges that distorted space itself as two technologically transcendent forces clashed. "They're learning," Kane transmitted. "Push harder. Show them humanity's true potential." Chen's Titan form moved faster, struck harder, its hybrid systems pushing to maximum capacity. She felt the strain even through the neural interface, but the enhanced portions of her consciousness compensated automatically. Every Wraith tactic was analyzed and countered at quantum speeds. The battle reached its crescendo as Chen's Titan engaged the largest Wraith construct directly. Their collision sent ripples through space-time, reality distorting around them as two opposing forms of transcendent technology fought for supremacy. In that moment of ultimate conflict, Chen finally understood what Novaterra had created. This wasn't just an advancement in warfare. It was the next step in human evolution, forced by desperate circumstance, but perhaps inevitable nonetheless. The Wraith construct fractured under her assault, its crystalline form unable to maintain coherence against the perfect fusion of human consciousness and quantum technology. As it shattered, the remaining Wraith fleet retreated, their first major defeat marking a turning point in the war. But victory had come at a price. Chen could feel how the battle had changed her, how the neural interface and quantum integration had pushed her further from her original human form. There would be no going back, not for her, and not for the species she had sworn to protect. "The Alliance must know," she transmitted to Kane. "They need to understand what victory requires." "They'll resist," Kane warned. Fear of change runs deep. Chen's consciousness stretched between her Titan form and her transformed human self, existing in multiple states simultaneously. "Then we'll make them understand. The age of traditional humanity is over. Evolution is no longer optional." The Titans regrouped around Evolution Station, their massive forms casting shadows across space itself. The Wraith had been driven back, but this was only the beginning. Humanity's transformation had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. Would you like me to continue with Part 4? The story will explore the wider implications of humanity's transformation and the escalating conflict with the Wraith. The Alliance Council chamber erupted in chaos as Chen's hologram displayed her transformed appearance. Her electric blue eyes and circuitry-traced skin triggered immediate outrage among the assembled leaders. "This is an abomination," Councillor Reeves shouted, his fist striking the ancient wooden table. "You've violated every law against human enhancement. You've become something else." Chen's enhanced senses detected the fear beneath his anger. Her quantum-enhanced mind processed the emotional states of all 23 council members simultaneously. Fear, disgust, but in some, a desperate hope. "I've become what humanity needs to be," she responded, her voice carrying harmonic frequencies that commanded attention. The Wraith were driven back at Arcturus. For the first time, we can fight them as equals. The tactical display showed the battle's aftermath. Wraith ships lay shattered across the Arcturus system, their once invincible forms broken by Titan intervention. But the Council's attention focused on the Titans themselves, their kilometer-tall forms representing a transformation of humanity that couldn't be ignored. "And what happens after?" Councillor Zhang asked quietly. "If we follow Novaterra's path, transform our species, what remains of humanity?" The chamber's quantum sensors registered a massive energy surge. Space itself seemed to tear open as thousands of Wraith ships emerged simultaneously across Alliance territory. This was no ordinary attack. It was an extinction-level event. "We're out of time," Chen declared. "The Wraith are launching their final offensive. Every major population center is targeted. Traditional defenses will fail within hours." Emergency signals flooded the communications networks. Colonies under attack. Fleet positions overwhelmed. Civilian populations in panic. The Council watched in horror as humanity's last defensive line began to crumble. "Nova Terra has prepared for this," Chen continued. "Evolution Station can process 10,000 volunteers per day through the enhancement protocols. The Titan production facilities are ready for mass deployment. But you must choose now, evolution or extinction." The Wraith responded with desperate fury, their ships combining into massive geometric forms that dwarfed even the Titans, but size no longer mattered. Enhanced humanity had transcended physical limitations. The final battle transcended traditional combat. It was a war of consciousness and reality manipulation, as two species fought for the right to define the galaxy's future. Space itself became a canvas for their conflict, dimensions folding and unfolding at their will. But the Wraith had made a crucial mistake. In forcing humanity to evolve so rapidly, they had created something unprecedented, a species that combined organic adaptability with technological transcendence. Every Wraith tactic was countered before it fully formed, their strategies predicted and neutralized by quantum-enhanced human minds. The dimensional weapon collapsed in on itself as Chen directed humanity's combined consciousness against it. The void it had created was filled with new reality, shaped by human will and understanding. Earth was saved, but it would now orbit a changed star, one touched by humanity's transformation. Victory came not with the thunder of weapons, but with the subtle shift of quantum possibilities. The Wraith fleet found itself unable to maintain coherence against humanity's evolved mastery of physics. Their crystalline forms shattered across multiple dimensions, their consciousness scattered into quantum noise. As the last Wraith ship faded from existence, Chen addressed the remains of the Alliance Council. Her hologram now showed a form that barely resembled her original human self, yet somehow captured the essence of humanity's potential. "The war is over," she declared, "but our evolution is just beginning. We've broken through barriers that have contained our species since its birth. The galaxy awaits." Humanity emerged from the conflict transformed but unbroken. The Alliance reformed into the Quantum Concordat, a civilization that bridged the organic and synthetic, the physical and dimensional. They had survived extinction by becoming something new, not losing their humanity, but redefining it. Earth's sun now pulsed with quantum energy, a reminder of how close the planet had come to erasure. But in its new light, transformed humans built wonders that their ancestors would have considered divine. The age of traditional humanity had ended not with a whimper, but with transcendence. And in the vast quantum networks that now spanned the galaxy, the combined consciousness of the evolved humanity looked to the stars and saw not limits, but possibilities. Chen's final transmission resonated through the quantum consciousness. "We are still human. We are simply more than we were, and we will never stop evolving." The galaxy had witnessed the dawn of a new age. Humanity had faced extinction and chosen transformation instead. Their future was now boundless, their potential unlimited. The stars themselves seemed to pulse with new energy, acknowledging the birth of a truly transcendent civilization. This wasn't an ending, but a beginning. Humanity's greatest journey was just starting, and the universe itself waited to see what they would become. Would you like me to create the SEO-optimized title and description for the YouTube video next? The emergency beacon pulsed weakly through the debris field surrounding Centauri Station, its rhythmic signal a final testament to humanity's most advanced deep space outpost. Admiral Sarah Chen watched from the bridge of the U.S. Defiant as twisted metal and frozen bodies drifted past the view screen. Her weathered face remained stoic, but her hands gripped the command rail until her knuckles turned white. "Casualty report," she commanded, her voice steady despite the devastation before her. Commander Jackson cleared his throat. "Total loss of life aboard Centauri Station. 15,342. The Wraith got through our quantum shields like they weren't even there. The Wraith, humanity's name for the crystalline entities that had emerged from the void 6 months ago. They possessed technology that defied physics as humans understood it, and an apparent desire to eliminate all organic life they encountered. The United Systems Alliance had lost 37 colonies and 15 space stations in those 6 months. Billions dead. The Alliance Council is convening an emergency session. Lieutenant Rivera announced from her communication station. They're requesting your presence. Admiral. Chen nodded grimly. She already knew what the Council would say. The Alliance's most fortified position had fallen in hours. Their best weapons were useless. Their fastest ships couldn't escape. Surrender or extinction seemed to be the only options left. Set course for Earth, she ordered. Maximum speed. The Defiant's quantum drives hummed to life, but before they could engage, Rivera's console lit up with urgent signals. Admiral, I'm picking up a transmission. It's different from anything I've seen before. Chen turned sharply. Wraith. No, ma'am. It's definitely human in origin, but the encryption is unlike any Alliance protocols. It's coming from the Outer Rim, from Nova Terra. The bridge fell silent. Nova Terra was a failed colony, abandoned during the resource wars 50 years ago. Its harsh environment and distance from established trade routes had made it unsuitable for settlement, or so everyone believed. Put it through, Chen ordered. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing a face that made several bridge officers gasp. The man appeared to be in his 40s, but his eyes were an unnatural electric blue, glowing faintly in the dim light. Circuitry-like patterns traced across his skin in luminescent lines. This is Director Marcus Kane of Nova Terra Institute. We've been monitoring the Wraith invasion. We can help. Chen's eyes narrowed. Nova Terra was abandoned decades ago. Who are you really? Kane's augmented eyes pulsed. We were never abandoned, Admiral. We chose isolation to pursue research too dangerous for the Alliance's comfort. Now that research may be humanity's last hope. What kind of research? We've achieved what your scientists deemed impossible. True quantum consciousness integration. We've evolved beyond traditional human limitations. Kane's expression hardened. We can fight the Wraith on their own terms, but we need the Alliance's help to deploy our technology on a large scale. Chen studied the transformed human before her. The Alliance had strict laws against human augmentation after the horrors of the Enhancement Wars. But facing extinction, did those laws still matter? The Council needs to see this, she said finally. No. Kane's response was immediate. The Council will debate while more colonies die. We're transmitting coordinates to a secure meeting location. Come alone, Admiral. See what we've become, what humanity can become. Then decide. The transmission cut off, leaving the bridge in tense silence. Chen stood motionless, weighing options that all seemed equally desperate. Plot a course to those coordinates, she ordered finally, and send a message to the Council. Tell them. She paused, choosing her words carefully. Tell them I'm pursuing a potential strategic advantage. As the Defiant altered course, Chen watched Centauri Station recede into the distance. Humanity had reached for the stars, built wonders, and thought themselves masters of their domain. The Wraith had shattered that illusion in months. Perhaps it was time to embrace a new evolution, no matter how frightening it might seem. The coordinates led them to an asteroid field in unclaimed space. The Defiant sensors detected nothing unusual until they passed a particular marker, and suddenly the space before them shimmered. A massive installation appeared, seamlessly integrated into the largest asteroid. Its architecture was organic, almost alive, with structures that seemed to pulse with internal energy. By the stars, Jackson whispered. How long have they been out here? Long enough, Chen answered, noting defense systems far more advanced than anything the Alliance possessed. Long enough to become something else entirely.